guys, welcome once again to the Coffee and Heroes YouTube show, your one-stop shop for everything comic book related and anything else that takes my fancy week to week. So yeah, interesting week in the store this week. Obviously in Northern Ireland we're now being subjected to these new regulations for the next couple of weeks, just announced by the government there a couple of days ago. So we've been open as normal this week. We were actually able to start our sit-in facilities again there on Friday. We're also going to have sit-in facilities next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then it's actually a bit up in the air at the moment. There might be a slight possibility that we can stay open and organise a click and collect type service where we'll still be open in the centre. Smithfield itself will be open. It'll be sort of maximum 2 people in store at any time. And it'll be a case of coming down, collecting stuff, takeaway coffees only, and that's pretty much it. There's a few different essential businesses in Smithfield, food markets, there's a furniture shop, there's also the bike maintenance store, things like that. So I think that the council are being a little bit lenient on us and letting us open it in a way where we can still conduct business, but we're not fully open. You know, so there's no chances of us contributing anything or having large crowds or anything to worry about. As I say, 0 sit-in facilities with regards to that. So we'll make it work. You know, we still will offer deliveries and so forth if people are a little maybe apprehensive about coming out, which is fully understandable. But it will be nice to have a base of operations anyway in terms of if there's website sales, in terms of the deliveries coming every week. So we can still organise new releases, have pull lists ready and so forth, and have that for pickup from the stores. So keep an eye on the social media. That's not 100% confirmed, but we were told about it today and hopefully we'll have confirmation next week. So keep an eye on the social media stuff, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the usual suspects, and we'll keep you guys updated on that. But outside of that, it was a really busy week in store. I think we're starting to get into the Christmas season. We're starting to see a lot of gift giving, or gift buying, I should say. And it's been really cool this week because we've been getting lots of people coming in looking for recommendations. You know, my son is into this. Should I get this for him? It's been interesting being able to fill in blanks for parents because they know they have, you know, maybe a graphic novel at home for someone, but we're able to fill in around that. You know, use us as a resource while you're there, guys. If you're unsure about anything or you have any questions or you're looking recommendations, ask away. That's what we're there for, and we'll always do our best to give you guidance. You know, we can't always guarantee you'll love what we love, but we can certainly give you the experience of what we have read, because again, it's what's cool about owning the place and being a big comic fan is that we can always recommend stuff, because 9 out of 10 graphic novels on the shelf I've read or Vicky's read, so we can certainly give you the benefit of our experience and if we enjoyed something or not. And to be honest, if there's something we don't enjoy in single issues, then, you know, we might not get the trade in if it's a choice between it and say something else, because we never want to stand behind a product that we don't, you know, wholeheartedly believe in. So yeah, we're there as a resource, guys. Use us as much as possible. Vouchers, of course, are available, so you can always jump in with those as well. And again, then we can chat to people in the new year when hopefully, again, there's some degree of normality around the place. I was doing a little bit of work this week as well. Tons of new graphics in store, so I massively topped up the Marvel section. We have tons of new framed prints, which again can make good gifts over Christmas. You know, we've got tons of Marvel and DC, and there'll be more and more going up over the next week or two, so keep an eye out for those as well. Still waiting to hear back from CGC. They've received the 50 issues so far. I was saying the other day in a video I put up that we're going to do one more delivery to CGC before Christmas. That's going to go off next week, either Wednesday or Thursday. So if there's anything else you're looking sent this side of Christmas, we probably won't be sending any more off now until January. So we can't guarantee they'll be back for Christmas, but we'll certainly send them first class to London, signed for, and hopefully it's a case of they will be back before Christmas. But again, we can't guarantee that. We're at the behest of the Postal Service and certainly how busy CGC are themselves. So yeah, that's pretty much store maintenance for the week. You know, I always like to jump into certainly the best issues that I enjoyed the most this week. 2 of them are actually from this week. I've slightly cheated again. One's from the previous week. I just hadn't read it yet. And that one is Scarentude. So Scarentude is a book by Nick Roche and Chris O'Halloran. The general gist of it is it pretty much revolves around a single parent and all the fears he has of how he's raising his child. Is he there for her enough? Does he entertain her enough? But is he still maintaining a work-life balance? But then he's chatting with some of the other parents at the school, and they start talking about urban legends around the school and things that go bump in the night and school myths and legends and stuff like that. And then it turns out that, you know, he's not a massive believer and he thinks it's all bunkum. But he actually starts to investigate stuff and he actually finds out that it might be true. Really nice balance of family drama, some great humorous moments, and also the fact that it has the horror elements put in as well. Really, really dug this. I believe it's going to be 4 issues in total. I think with 1 or 2 copies of issue 1 left, but really, really recommend that, guys. That's Scarentude number 1. Was delighted this week that Death Metal 5 came out. This is probably the best title of the metal run so far in terms of the main series. There's been a lot of the one-shots have been great, I've found, but the main series, I wouldn't say it's been lacking. It's still been good, but I don't think it's been as good as the surrounding one-shots. But this one was great. You know, you're calling in the entire DC universe here. You're very much putting Wonder Woman at the heart of this. Because 9 times out of 10, people see metal, they see Snyder, they see Capullo, they assume it's a Batman-related title or a Batman-driven title. But this is very, very heavy on the Wonder Woman stuff. Some great stuff with Lex Luthor as well. And also Lobo being reintroduced is a really, really cool touch. Art is stellar. You really feel the stakes are being raised. And that's all you can ask when you're 5 parts into a 7-part series. So really, really, really enjoyed this, I have to say. So Death Metal number 5. But for me, title of the week out of them all was Sea of Sorrows. Sea of Sorrows is a horror title set at sea. It's predominantly to do with gold scavengers and the terrors that lurk deep, deep, deep in the sea. So it's written by Rich Dueck and arts by Alex Cormack. These guys we chatted to in the podcast a month or so ago. We also highly recommend their series Road of Bones, which is excellent. It was another 4-issue horror miniseries. It's out in trade now. But this was really, really cool. Fantastic art. Really encompasses the horrors of the sea, but also the camaraderie of living on the sea with, you know, with people who essentially become your family. Some good historical elements to it as well. Really, really dug this. Again, this is going to be 4 issues. I think with 1 or 2 number 1s left if you want to jump on it now. But even if you don't jump on it now in single issue form, highly recommend trade once it hits, because I think this is going to be something really special. Really, really enjoyed issue 1 of that. But from this week to next week. And we're going to go on to the invoice now. And I've been having trouble with my printer, so I'm having to do it, you know, all modern like with the iPad, so I can go through the invoice here. Tons of great stuff coming next week, as there are every week. Really great mix of stuff. There's also some cool things coming that we've been waiting on for a little while, and I'll get to that. So next week, yeah, so we're with Action Comics coming back 10/27. So continuing on with Brian Michael Bendis' run on Action Comics and John Romita Jr. on art. We have Amazing Spider-Man 53.LR, so continuing the Last Remains storyline. I believe that's coming to its last couple of issues now. What else have we got? We've got Batman Superman 14, really popular title in store. That's been going really well. Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn number 2. Number 1 was a big hit in store. I think we've 1 or 2 number 1s left in case you're late coming to it. But this is an awesome continuation of the Sean Murphy verse in White Knight. One of those titles I was telling you about that we're finally getting the number 1 in, we've been waiting for ages, is a title called Bleed Them Dry, which is this vampire tale. I believe it's from Vault Comics. And I actually have upstairs in the store number 2, number 3, number 4. And number 5's out next week. And we're getting number 1 in next week. So we can actually start selling it, because it was one of those ones that fell into the Bermuda Triangle of Diamond Deliverers. What else we got? We got Conan the Barbarian coming in, so number 16 for that. We've got Daredevil number 24, so any week with new Daredevil is a good week, I think. We've got some figures coming in next week as well. I've got some Cyberpunk 2077 figures of one of the characters, Johnny, who of course is well known as being based on Kenny Reeves, so got those figures coming in. We've got another one of those lovely metal tie-ins, so we've got Dark Knight's Death Metal Multiverse That Laughs, so another one-shot there. We're getting sent some DC stuff that is actually promotional material and also more information on DC Future State. So they'll be handed out free, so they will. So anyone who is in I will fire them in your bag. You can get a bit more information on Future State itself, outside of course my YouTube video that I put out there. But it'll give you a bit more information in written form. So the order's already in for Future State, but we'll certainly be given an opportunity to top those orders up. So if anything appeals to you once you've looked through this, give us a buzz. We've got Department of Truth number 3 coming. Again, that's one of the top indie titles of this year, I would say. Really, really loving that. And again, with regards to great indie titles, Dune, House of Atreides number 2 is next week, and thought number 1 of that was fantastic. We've got a couple of Marvel series coming to an end next week that have been popular. So we've got Falcon Winter Soldier number 5, and we've also got Fantastic Four Antithesis number 4. In both cases there, that's the last of those series. So if they're titles that you missed out on that you quite like the look of, trades won't be too far behind. What else have we got here? We have Justice League Dark number 28. Never a bad week when you have a new Justice League Dark issue coming out. A little bit of a sad one as well. Another series coming to an end next week, which is John Constantine Hellblazer number 12. This is a run that definitely seems like it was cut down in its prime. But hopefully it'll go out with a bang, and I have no doubt that it will, because this has been a great, great series. Philadelphia number 10. Again, we love talking about that. We love ourselves some Philadelphia. Next week was supposed to be local comic store day, so not the best of timing when it's up in the air, whether we'll be open, whether we'll be closed, whatever. But there's a ton of great indie foil covers being done for local comic store day that we've got in. Most of them will be cover price. There will be a couple of them that are £1 or £2 more expensive, but there's some great stuff here. They're doing foil versions of Ice Cream Man 20, of Invincible number 1. We've got Mighty Morphine number 1. There's going to be a foil variant for that. We have, so of course, if you've Mighty Morphine number 1, you have Power Rangers number 1. We have Spawn 312, which is going to be a foil cover. But the one I'm looking forward to most, and the one I'm most heavily ordered on, is Something Is Killing the Children number 1. We're getting a foil variant in of that. So if any of those appeal to, get in touch and I can stick them in your box. Otherwise, if we're open, we'll have them in store. If not, I'll put a little video up on the social media channels. Again, showing you guys what these look like when they come in, and then you'll get a chance to set them aside as well. Got Lois Lane Enemy of the State trade paperback coming in. We absolutely love that 12-issue mini-series. That was Greg Rucka. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. What else have we got here? We've got Nailbiter Returns number 7. Can't go wrong with Nailbiter Returns. We've got another DC Black Label title coming in next week. This was a very long delayed title, but one we're really looking forward to, which is The Other History of the DC Universe. There's going to be a 5-issue mini-series, and this is essentially looking at big events that happened in the DC Universe, but from the perspective of sort of smaller characters, so to speak. I think that'll be really, really interesting. Got Scumbag number 2 coming out. Number 1 was brilliant by Rick Remender. We've got Spawn 312 as well as that foil cover coming in. We've also got the main issue coming in. What else is on here? We've got Suicide Squad number 11. Another series coming to an end, which really depresses me because I love that series. Tom Taylor doing the Lord's work on that. What else we got? I've got Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen trade paperbacks coming in as well. So it was a nice counter piece to the Lois Lane trade paperback that came out. What else we got? We've got Undiscovered Country number 10 coming out next week. So continuing to love that Scott Snyder Charles Soule title. What else we have? We have a new Witcher series starting next week, which is Witcher Fading Memories. This is going to be a 4-issue mini-series, and this is issue 1 of that. We have X of Swords Destruction number 1. So I believe this is essentially bringing to an end the X of Swords storyline. Because as well as that, next week we've got a couple of other X titles coming out that will finish that off, so it will. So yeah, tons of great stuff on there. As I say, I'm really looking forward to seeing those local comic store day variants in the flesh. I think a few of those might be sent out to CGC as well, because they will present really, really well. So yeah, so that is essentially next week and what to look forward to. Again, anything catches your eye or you like the sound of anything, just drop us a message and we can certainly get those on your pull list to make sure you get those. So as well as that, next week we're going to be getting the new previews book. So these are going to be the titles, believe it or not, that are coming out in February. So really getting ahead of things, but that's how the comics industry works. So we're starting to see a little bit of news on some titles being already early solicited, so to speak. So a couple of them caught my eye. There's a new Image title going to be coming out called Two Moons. And this is written by John Arcudi. And it takes place during the American Civil War. and it essentially is a horror action comics. It's to do with a Pawnee man serving in the Union Army. This looks really, really cool. The preview art for this, I'll certainly put a little bit of it up here. Looks really class. There's a great resurgence in horror books at the moment, and I am loving it because it's such an underutilized format. But that we'll have a bit more information on that once it hits next month, next week when we get the previews books. And another one that a lot of people are really looking forward to, this is on people's pull lists already, is a new series called Radiant Black. Now, you may be wondering, why is this on people's pull lists already? Well, the reason is because it's pitched as Power Rangers meets Invincible. And it's written by Kyle Higgins, who of course did a seminal long run on Power Rangers. So loads of people have their names down for this already. So Kyle Higgins has said, "This is the comic book I've been waiting my whole life to make. Being able to build this with artist Marcelo Costa is a dream come true. Radiant Black is both a love letter to the superhero stories I love, as well as a statement on what I think superheroes can be for a whole new generation." So yeah, it really does look like Power Rangers meets superheroes. So I don't think you can go too wrong with that. A little bit of movie news, TV news, that kind of thing as well. So undoubtedly the biggest story of the week is that Wonder Woman 84 will be hitting HBO Max and a simultaneous cinema release on December 25th, Christmas Day. I've been waiting on this happening for one company or another for weeks, to be honest, months even at this point. You know, I'm convinced Black Widow will be on Disney Plus before too long. But it seems like Warner Brothers have blinked first. They are under a lot of pressure to make HBO Max a premium service. So putting a big title like Wonder Woman on and saying this is part of your, monthly fee that you have access to this, I can understand. I think when it comes to the money that it's going to take in comparison to what it would have with a worldwide theatrical release, they're certainly going to take far less money on this. But they're trying to play the long game and get subscribers on the HBO Max with premium content, so to speak. So yeah, Patty Jenkins came out and said, "The time has come. At some point you have to choose to share any love and joy you have to give over everything else. We love our movie as we love our fans, so we truly hope that our film brings a little bit of joy and reprieve to all of you this holiday season. What in theaters where it is made safe to do so, and available in the safety of your home on HBO Max where it is not. Happy holidays to you all. We hope you enjoy our film as much as we enjoyed making it." So yeah, this is definitely a big, big statement. Don't be surprised to see things like the James Bond movie go to streaming. I'm not sounding the death knell for cinema, so to speak, but the movie companies have spent money on these motion pictures, so they're going to put them out there instead of having them on the shelf. So yeah, as I say, I think they're under a lot of pressure to make HBO Max a success, so that's why they've went with this move as well. It would be nice to see some news on HBO Max this side of the world. So there is that. But obviously with the HBO Max as well, another big thing is Zack Snyder's Justice League. He released a new trailer this week. It's essentially the same trailer as before with maybe about 10 seconds of new footage. I'm not too proud of myself to say that I could spot every single second of new footage on there. But the main thing that sort of came out of it was that there was a new look at Steppenwolf, which has been the subject of many a meme, I can assure you, since. But as well as releasing that new trailer, Zack Snyder did a sort of commentary for the trailer on Vero, which is this really strange social media platform, but Snyder seems to love it, so I watch a lot of stuff on there. And he went through the entire trailer and what he said about Steppenwolf. So the armor is very, very spiky, but the way he talks about it is that's the armor, that's not his body, that's not his look. And the armor itself is actually utilized in a way, like say bullets coming towards him, the armor will sort of contract into that one spot and protect him. Actually sounds like a really cool idea. And he says you will see Steppenwolf out of that in the finished movie. So, but let's be honest, no matter what it looks like, it will be better looking than the Steppenwolf we got in Justice League. So, yeah. Speaking of DC stuff, there was a new trailer dropped this week for a new DC animated movie, which was Batman Soul of the Dragon. So this looks really, really interesting. It's set during the swinging 1970s. It's an Elseworlds adventure. You've got Bruce Wayne in there, so you've got Batman. You've also got Lady Shiva, Bronze Tiger. It looks really, really cool. Sort of old-style kung fu mixed with superheroes. Really nice animation style. You know, I'm up and down with the DC movies, animated stuff, but I loved Apocalypse War, which was fantastic. So yeah, check out the trailer for this, guys. It looks absolutely brilliant, so it does, and really looking forward to that. A little bit of news came out on a Deadpool 3. So when it comes to the Deadpool movies, I love the first one. I don't have a lot of time for the second one. The first time was effortlessly cool and funny. The second one for me just seemed like it was trying too hard. But obviously it made bank, so of course there's going to be a third movie. So they've got a couple of writers that have joined it now. They are writers who have worked on Bob's Burgers, so they'll have the humour down pat. So it's the duo of Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux Llewellyn. They've signed on to pen the script for the next installment, and in addition, it is expected to keep its R rating. Deadpool has always been a weird one because obviously owned by Fox. Fox had no problem doing R-rated movies, 18-rated movies, essentially adult-only superhero movies, because Deadpool was a massive success. There was always this worry that Disney would try to, tone it down a bit, make it more PG-13. So it's actually quite promising to see that they should be moving forward with the R rating, because Deadpool's a foul-mouthed, violent character. It kind of needs to be. What else do we see there? So there is another new Predator movie coming on, which is a 5th installment of Predator, but apparently it won't tie into any of the recent sequels. It will tie into the first 2 movies, but not Predators or The Predator. Now, what has me quite looking forward to this is, Predator's a weird one for me. I don't think Predator is as premium a franchise as some people think. The first Predator movie is a masterpiece, absolute masterpiece of cinema. The second movie is actually very good. And then the other movies are all right. There's been good comics on them, but by no means is it an A-level franchise. But yeah, the reason this has my attention this time is because Dan Trachtenberg, who directed episodes of The Boys and directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, is on directing duties for this, so could be something really cool. I enjoy a good Predator movie, So first 2 are fantastic, as I say. And I didn't mind The Predator by Shane Black. It's entertaining enough. One last thing then, just on the TV news. So HBO Max, there they are again, have greenlit the DMZ miniseries. So there's going to be a 4-issue miniseries on HBO Max that is based on the acclaimed Vertigo comic by Brian Wood. So this is produced by Ava DuVernay, and she's also directed the pilot for it as well. Ava DuVernay is going to be doing the New Gods movie. She's going to be directing that, the one that Tom Keen's writing. So this one's very timely. It's a series that is set on a demilitarized zone of what was once Manhattan. So a second American Civil War has happened in the near future, and that has seen the remains of the federal government and the secessionist Free State armies holding an uneasy detente. The series centers on a female medic on the island who is trying day in and day out to help keep residents alive while also trying to find her son. She soon proves a source of hope in America that has lost all sense of the idea of hope. So yeah, I've read the first trade of DMZ. I really should probably get back to it, but it's not like I don't have 101 things to read. But I enjoyed the first trade of it, so I must give it. This might be my reason to go back to it and see see how it ended up. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the news wise. Just a little bit of stuff to finish off from personal point of view. Finished Cobra Kai this week, season 2. How can you leave it there? Are you kidding me? Thankfully, season 3 isn't that far away. Fantastic TV again. I can't recommend Cobra Kai enough at this point. And then just one last thing to share with you I thought would be cool. I reorganized my bookshelf a little bit. But I recently indulged in this bad boy this week. Look at the size of this. I really am discovering more and more of a love for omnibuses and absolutes, as if I didn't have enough love already. But yeah, the reason I grabbed this was because I love to see so much. Obviously, Tom Taylor, great work. Alternate universe stuff, I'm fully on board for. So I've never read Injustice. I don't normally advocate digital comics, always stay with paper. But the first issue of Injustice is actually on Comixology for free, so you can give it a go and see what you think. This covers the first 3 years. Believe it or not, this is only volume 1. But yeah, really looking forward to digging into that. The only thing being that I'm still hip deep in Sandman. I have a friend lent me Daredevil from the 80s. I have another friend who's lent me Invincible and Spider-Man from the Straczynski era, plus my weekly pull list. So if we are closed, I can certainly catch up on reading when it comes. But yeah, keep an eye on the social media stuff, guys. Any news that we have regarding the store, we'll certainly share on there. I'll keep you up to date through the YouTube stuff as well. But yeah, just keep an eye on the next few days. I'd rather, only when I know for sure while I share things with you guys and let you know. So, but anyway, in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Pass it on to whoever you think would enjoy my weekly ramblings, and don't forget to subscribe. So thanks again, guys. Hope you're taking care of each other out there. Stay safe and take it easy.